What's going on, folks? Once again, this is Coach Spencer, Commissioner Spencer Middleton from the New York Cup basketball tournaments, along with my partner, the amazing coach, Commissioner Mo. And we're here to make sure you guys understand what's going on with today's sports and, the culture and who's doing what in the culture. So far, thanks for checking in, folks. Thanks for checking in. We're going to get Coach Lynda Day up in a minute. Yeah, we're just waiting for Coach right now. She's coming in a second. There you go.
How are you?
I am well. How you doing, Coach? What's going on?
Good. It's the same thing every day.
This is true. This is true. Wake up, do some phone calls, do some Zooms.
Yep.
Get something to eat, shower, go back to bed, start all over again.
Outside every once in a while.
Oh, you do that? Okay, that's good.
Yes.
You got to get the body right.
Absolutely.
Get some fresh air at least.
Yeah, some sense of normalcy.
As we're not going to be normal for a while.
Some sense.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Unfortunately. Everyone's checking in right now. We'll give a few more minutes before we actually get into you and I. But how have you been? Besides this.
It's a balance. It is what it is. I think I went through all those stages of fear and like, oh, this is a vacation. And then, okay, this is the new reality. So can't really complain. Just have to adjust and move forward.
That's true. That's true. Coach Mike Lloyd is saying, "What's up, Coach?"
Well, to say.
Yeah. You and I haven't seen each other for a minute as well.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Unfortunately, it's been a while, and now we're not going to be out for a minute.
In 2021.
Basically, yeah. And now that I'm at high school at Spelman, it's like, okay, I can't even get them prepared except conversations and text messages and stuff like that. It is hard. It is hard. Let's start off with one thing. I know you, and some of the coaches and people that's on here knows who you are. But let's start off with basic, simple. Who am I talking to? Who are you?
I'm the head women's basketball coach at John Jay. I just finished up my 4th year. Been doing this for quite a while.
Already?
Yeah, 4 already.
Wow.
I was actually thinking about that, but I'm like, wow. I thought it was 3, and I'm like, oh no.
I thought it was 3.
It's 4.
Okay. Wow. Congrats again. Damn.
Time flies.
What else?
Before that, I spent 5 years at SUNY Westbury.
Okay.
Before that, I was at the Mary Louise Academy for 4. Coached AAU from New York City Heat for about 8 or 9 summers.
That's right. That's right. I was doing double duty. I actually met. Yeah.
Doing double duty for a while. Yeah. I'm getting too old for that. Although I was actually thinking about doing it this year, and I'm like, but part of me really is thinking about maybe 2021.
Really?
We'll see. It's a long time to not be in the gym.
That's true. Because that is a big break. You're right. That is a big break.
It is. It's tough. You know what? It does help that I try to balance where I was going to go anyway, to where we're going to be scheduled.
That is kind of hard because the beginning of the year, we were plotting out all of our teams for Bronx Storm and where people were going to go and who's going to do what. All these new kids want to come to the program. I'm like, that's great. All of a sudden, shut down. Like, wow.
It's tough.
It is tough because we were going to actually do youth, like the 12s, the 10s and the 12s and 14. That's what we really was looking forward to this year. And, it kind of put a big little wrench in the works right there.
And that's what those kids need.
Yeah.
Especially at that age.
Yeah. And I've never had that. I've always been 14 and up. Mostly boys and mostly girls, but then we started the boys past couple of years. But I said, let's go a little younger, keep them around a little longer, and develop them a little bit better, boys and girls.
No, it's good because then you can funnel them through your own program,
Exactly.
and they have at least some type of general. You kind of have an idea of their background because sometimes when kids have never been exposed to AAU and they just jump right into high school, they really don't know what to think and what to say, and they're listening to too many people.
That's true. Now, since we've both done AAU, great, and New York Heat was a really good program. I know that. Do you see issues with AAU and how everyone used to call it, or it kind of still calls it a money grab?
I guess it depends on what side you're on.
Okay.
When I did it, I didn't get paid. I got my hotels
Neither
paid
me.
for. That was about it. I did it because I
Right.
really wanted to.
Coach, got to talk to you about the Wi-Fi. There you go.
Doing
Okay, you're back. You're back. Now
okay.
you're back. Go ahead.
Doing it and getting paid, for your time is one thing. Doing it as like, a side gig or really trying to learn more about it. But just like anything else, some people just don't do it the right way. Or, you have some AAU coaches on the sidelines who think that, they're going to get a job because
Right.
they're ranting and raving and screaming. And, what I try to tell, I always told my players when we coached AAU is that no one ever asks your AAU record when they're recruiting you.
This is
I've
true.
I've literally sat there and watched blowouts. It could be a 30-point game, and I have no idea who's winning. Um,
Right.
just because you're really just watching the talent. I liked being on that side because I was able to really affect that, and you kind of didn't see it until they went back to their high schools because
True.
it helped them. I wanted them to get out of their comfort zone. If they
Okay.
weren't used to dribbling, I wanted to put the ball in their hands. Now, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter if you win or lose because, I don't like
Hmm.
to lose,
Right.
but
Right. Right.
it puts you in those situations. It helps prepare you for high school. It helps prepare you for, you know, you're playing in front of potential college coaches.
This is true.
You're putting your game film together. These are all the things that will help you grow down the line.
Exactly. Now, when right after you got out of New York Heat and you started with Mary Lewis and everything, it was always girls, correct?
Always goes, yeah. New York City
Always
Heat
girls.
doesn't have boys.
Right. 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 So you never went on the boys' side to coach boys. Just never
Just
opportunity never popped up.
youth, way
Uh
back
huh.
in the day,
Right.
when I was like in college, but never something that at any type of competitive. Um,
Gotcha. Okay. And it's funny, see, Coach's Choice to check it in. He said your record was incredible with the Heat. Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I don't know about some of those scheduling, Tom. That 8 a.m.
Yeah,
or that
exactly.
9 p.m. I don't know about that, but I'll forgive him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, Tom's a great dude, really great dude. So now you're at college now. You're doing your part now. You've developed 4 years now, so you have your crew of coaches. Are they still with you, or because we can't talk about the players for the moment, but for the coaches, that you still have your assistant coaches and everybody around you?
Right now, it's just I just have one assistant right now.
Uh-huh.
She was a senior when I was my first year at John Jay.
Okay.
She's a very big part of what we do. The 2 years when it was either 2 or 3 years when I went back to AAU, I took a couple year break.
Uh-huh.
She was with me. It
Good.
helped. It helped because one, now you have two people sitting there recruiting in between games,
True, true.
and two, it really I think it helped us connect even more because I'm not gonna lie, we used the kids as an experiment of what we were gonna do during the season.
Of course.
So I think it really helped both of us grow.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. So now with your previous programs, the high school part, Mary Lou's Academy, I know they had a great record. I know they had an awesome team.
Yep.
And right after that, what was that? Right after Mary Louis?
I went I'm a Queens alum. I was there for
Okay,
4 years, and then I went
nice.
to Mary Louis. Then I went to SUNY Westbury, and then
Oh,
now
Westbury.
John Jay. Yeah.
It's funny. My uncle years ago, my uncle was the men's head coach, Ron Jackson, over there.
Okay.
Yeah, good dude, real good dude. Passed away a long time ago, but he's a real good dude. Um, so now this pandemic, it shut down your recruiting.
Absolutely.
Your physical recruiting. I mean, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's probably still sending a video, still sending you a YouTube clip, a link to their clips
Oh,
or
I
something
get
like that.
tons, but I want more. I get tons, but I need more.
So here's another thing. This is that avenue that we're gonna let you push that as much as well. And your link just went out. Can you hear me? Okay, she just left. I think her line went out. She's gonna check back in a second. Um, always when it gets good. Hold on, she's coming right back in.
That was really
There
weird.
you go.
There we go.
Yeah, very weird. No
Yeah.
problem. Um, then I forgot where I was because I saw the screen and went crazy.
I was like, I can't afford a new phone right now. That wouldn't be good. You were speaking about sending film and
Yeah. So now
if you're getting all of that sent to you, and again, this is going to be that avenue to let people know your number, your email, whichever way, however you want to do it. You're getting all that. Obviously, it's harder to sit there and look at, without a physical body. It's harder to just look at a clip because everyone makes their best of clips to send to you. What does your school offer that kid, that girl?
I mean, not everyone is. I think a big part of our attraction is being in the city, especially we get a lot of out-of-state interest.
Okay.
I get a lot of random people filling out our online questionnaires. I get Texas, I get California. I spoke to a kid today from Arizona, all around the country. Part of it
Check with Tom later. Not to cut you off. You see that?
I saw that.
Okay.
I'll make sure to plan at least an hour.
There you go.
But we're not the kind of school where, a lot of women's basketball players want to be doctors, want to be nurses, want to be something that's like sports management. We don't offer any of that. Our biggest draw, obviously, is criminal justice. We're very big with forensics, law, things like that. You may get people who just kind of have family who want to come from California, come to the other coast. I think that we do offer a lot of diversity. John Jay is very, very diverse in their student population. For in-state kids, tuition is cheap. If you're living at home, it's cheaper to go to a CUNY school than it is to go to Spelman.
That's true. That's true.
That's that is a very big draw to try to get those talented local kids to stay home.
So now, your program, the school is great. We know about their itineraries and everything that they have. What's good for you? What is the attraction to come see you to play for you at John Jay?
We want to play fast. We've built things up quite a bit the last couple of years. We had two great players who transferred into us, two JUCO kids. Nyasha Howard came from Hostos, so she came right off of winning a national championship.
They won last year. That's right. That's right.
She was the first part of that. She brought a lot to our program. I fought with my assistant when about making her the point guard. We still bicker to this day about it. She did a great job. This year she recorded, I think, 5 or 6 triple doubles, had the nation's only quadruple double. I don't think she even knew how to do it or what she was doing, but she did great. We had another junior college kid from Columbia Green, Alea Albright. She did a great job. She scored her 1,000th career point, like the second game of the season.
Wow.
5'9", broad shoulders, could put the ball on the floor. She was a bull.
Good.
Two players we're very much going to miss. We do return Katie Healy, who was an amazing soccer player as well. She was first team all conference for us. She was
footwork is probably crazy, right?
She's the ultimate competitor. She's a great student. She helped our women's soccer team win their first conference championship. She was also player of the year. She will be our biggest face going into next year. We'll have this pandemic is really starting to hurt recruiting as far as
of course, definitely.
You are the reason why I made me need a point guard. I didn't have a choice. I lost that battle, but it was a good one. Good call.
It was a good one. It's always a good to come out with great results. So now, with the pandemic messing up your recruiting, did you have a chance to at least see anybody, or was anybody on your radar prior to everything being shut down?
Well, with us, the good and the bad about CUNY is because of the price. If you didn't apply by maybe mid-late January, February 1st, the latest, you're not getting in. I have about 3 or 4 kids still waiting to get in. I had 2 kids get rejected that normally probably wouldn't, but this is what happens when you wait for so long, unfortunately. We had a couple of kids who are a little farther away from home. Now aren't going to be able to afford it, that out-of-state tuition. So, we'll see. We're going to go with who we have.
Right.
And right now we're just really, really digging in on 2021s.
So if someone is available today, I know Tom already has somebody. I may have somebody. A few other coaches on here may just have somebody say, you know what, Lynda may have something for them. How they get in touch with you?
Email is the best way, just to kind of keep track of everything. I emailed every contact that we had. I emailed about 400 something coaches last night. I wasn't kind of thrilled with the tour that we had, the virtual tour that we had at John Jay. So I
Right.
created one. I'm
So
actually going to be
what you
doing
sent
it.
me is what you created or what the school put together?
I made that.
It's nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I customized a little bit for us, but that's basically how we would walk you through. It was very
Okay.
confusing the way that they had it. I'm like, you know what? That's basically how we would walk you through for the most part.
Okay.
I figure a visual is better than nothing at this point in time.
True. 100%. 100% right. Now, John Jay's record as of this past season, what is it?
I think we won 14 or 15 games this year.
Uh-huh.
We had a similar record the year before,
Okay.
but we played a lot tougher non-conference games this year.
You planned it on purpose or just it popped
on
up on
purpose,
camera?
because we returned a lot.
Okay.
Building off of that, we won one game. So we went from one game to winning 12 games. So
Right.
I try to, dumb down a little bit that schedule. But we returned almost that entire team. So I'm like, you know what? We made a run this year. We came up short in the semifinals.
Uh-huh.
But I wanted to expose our team to as much competition as possible that really would get us ready for league play. And
That makes
we were
sense.
right there.
That makes sense. Now, your practice, are you one of those hard-ass coaches
We try to
who
be.
your foot in their tails the whole practice from beginning to end, or do tell me what you do?
We like to laugh. If you trip over the line, we're gonna laugh at you.
Okay.
If it's on film, you're gonna see it again. It may even end up on social media.
Nice.
We want to have fun. We want to have fun with it, but at the end of the day, we do want to work.
Okay.
We want to play. We want to do everything fast. Just lining them up to run is boring as a coach. It really is just kind of standing there. It's like, why are we wasting our time?
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, we don't get a lot of extra time, so we try to do everything possible to, do multiple things at once. A lot of our transition stuff, we can get a lot of running in that way. If the players do what they need to and come in decent shape, we don't have to waste time. We don't have to do things on after practice, before practice.
So you're big on cardio. You're big on everything without the basketball.
If they do nothing the entire off season, run. We actually also do the stairs. We start off at the 6th floor. We go down to the basement. We come back up. So that's 7 down, 7 up, 14 flights. Got to do it 10 times.
Sheesh.
Yes. Coaches have done it. So if I can do it, they better be able to do it.
So you run with them?
Not with them. At another time.
Okay.
We stagger ourselves. One coach at the top, one coach at the bottom, because we don't trust you. We want to make sure that we go up and down. They love the stairs. I got a couple of them on here. I know they can't wait to hit the stairs.
Okay. So the stairs is like okay, but
and
that's not a punishment though.
And dirt. No, that's you can lie whatever you say that you're going to do off season.
Right.
You can't 2 weeks before now really get in shape to go all up and down.
That's true. That's so true.
They know it's coming. It's done on either like the first or the second day, and that'll also weed out people who are trying out. They're like, after like the third time, they're like, "Bye, coach."
They know, like, oh, if this is what it's going to be, I'm out of here. I can't take this. Makes sense because a lot of kids now, you're giving them a project, you're giving them a workout, and you tell them, okay, we need you to, knock out this, every other day or whatever. But then it comes down to, all right, let me see you do something. Oh, I can't. My stomach or my leg is bothering me. Like you're out of shape.
Everyone feels great on the game day, though.
Oh, of course. For the first 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And then they get winded, and then they can't, like, coach, yeah, sub me. Like, somehow. No, we just started. I like to have kids run, and I'm glad you said that, like, having them run to last to the fourth quarter. At least let's last to the fourth quarter, because if we're tied and there's 3 minutes left, okay, whoever can last to that last whistle will win the game. That's it. No matter whether it's middle school, high school, or college. It's the same across the board.
I agree 100%.
So now let's go back just a little bit with you. When did you start coaching?
I went on staff right after I graduated, which, being 22 years old and a Division II assistant, I think that really just opened my eyes to everything. Before that, I did like 5 or 6 years at the youth level. Just kind of like a inter-church thing where I went through and it was like, okay, so now you're too old for it, so you go back. I coached my little brother doing it, and it was just something like, we didn't have other things to do when you were like 17, 18, 19 years old. So I'd rather be in the gym.
So what made you coach? What made you, instead of just staying as a player or helping out or being at the concession or doing stats or something, what made you say, you know what, I could lead these kids to something? What made you do that?
I just love the game. For
Okay.
whatever, I actually did a whole bunch of cleaning one day, and I found like a little playbook I made when I was 10 years old, and I'm like, oh my god. No
Get out
wonder
of
why
here.
I was driving my parents insane. You know, I like plays written with like, okay, play number 1 was this, and play number 2 was this, and I'm just like, wow. I started young. I just loved it.
Imagine, do you think you could take one of those plays now and create it to something for your team? That would be, they wouldn't know.
I do beg, borrow, and steal a lot of things.
I think we all do.
Don't give away all my secrets because a couple of them are on here.
Yeah, I see that.
But a lot of times, they don't run the play anyway, so we don't run too many sets. Because at the end of the day, they're just going to put their head down and go to the basket, and let's get the rebound, and put it back up, and go play defense.
That's when pure talent kicks in and they do what they're supposed to do. What is your most attractive position? Do you like a point? Do you like your shooter? Do you like your center? Do you have a center? Or do you just have big forwards?
Last year, we actually had to change everything in a very positive way because at any given time, we had 7 or 8 players we could rotate in, and the smallest kid was 5'7".
Oh, nice.
You know, everyone was able to shoot a 15-foot jump shot. You know, at the end of the day, we actually had Katie, who would never really do anything on the outside, hit her first couple of career threes and at a very big moment at the end of the season.
Nice.
You know, it was just very, very versatile. You know, every coach, when coaches are like, well, what do you want? Okay, yeah, I would love a quote-unquote point guard. I would love a shooter. I would love a double big. But I want athletes. You know, I don't want – we almost went basically like positionless basketball where anybody can be in any spot because it's not ideal. I don't want robots.
Yeah, I agree. Because that's where we are right now. It's some of the kids, when they come in, I love centers. I love bigs. I love the one that they own the paint. Like, this is my house. You're not coming in there. That's what I love. But at the same time, they could shoot a 3 or they could shoot a 8 to 10 foot shot with no problem. You know, because you have Kevin Durant and guys like that shooting from half court.
Everyone wants to shoot.
Yeah, they all want to shoot now. It's like, okay, if you want to shoot, then that means you must be practicing outside of this because I'm not really, you know, practicing and training you to be a shooter. I need you in the paint. Now, if you happen to be out and you catch a rebound or you catch an outlet and you let it go up, I'm not going to be mad. You know?
Our general thing is if you show me you can do it in practice, go for it. You can do it in a game.
Okay. So now with your players, the positionless part, everyone, you can rotate them in and out. Do you miss specific positions? Do you miss having that center in the paint all the time, grabbing every rebound? Do you miss that? Well,
again, our kids were Nyasha was like 5'8", 5'9". Alea's like 5'9". You know, they're long. Katie's about 5'9". You know, and they take up a lot of space. So I don't think we really. If you look in our conference, there were a handful of quote unquote bigs that would really post up. And our goal was to, you know, like anything else, you could play great. If they have a great move and a great counter, there's nothing you can do but try to contain them. But if you really work hard in front of them and don't let them get the ball or kind of push them out of their comfort zone, you know, now life becomes a little more difficult for them.
Do you push defense more than offense?
Oh, absolutely.
Balance?
If you can't play defense, I don't care how many points you can score because you're gonna give up the same amount on the other end. So there's no point. So
you're a wash and just cancel you out. Okay, that makes sense. Because I know a lot of coaches, they definitely want shooters. I'm like, yeah, that's great, but let's shut them down. If you at least shut them down, you can win by 1 point. It's a free throw. That's all you got to worry about.
You know, I came from a very defensive-minded program when I was a player, and you know, it was all about the pregame speech. We played in the 40s and the 50s.
Right.
The pregame speech was always, you know, you should never have a bad day on the defensive end. You know, you can do everything right, and then ball just doesn't want to go in.
That's true.
At the end of the day, you know, you got to play defense. That's what playoffs come down to. That's what big moments come down to. You know, you got to be able to rebound the ball, and I think that's what a lot of players really. It takes them a while sometimes to adjust that you can't out-jump everybody. You know, there's certain teams you can out-jump. There's certain people you can out-jump. But you got to put your body on you. You got to go pursue. Jessica Gorman is going to be a senior for us, and she's about 5'3". In her freshman year, she
Mhm.
was 5th or 6th in the conference in rebounding because she
Wow.
put her body on you and she
And
went.
she wanted it. And she wanted it.
We have a very raw, talented kid that came to us from Manhattanville. Jada is ridiculously an athlete. I don't think she
Really?
knows how good she can be.
Nice.
She put the ball on the floor and she went, and the entire bench looked at each other like, "Wait, who was that? How did that happen?"
Really? Good.
I'm like, that was great. Do it again. But
Good.
she's got bounce.
Good.
Her second bounce is ridiculous. If we can
Nice.
just keep her, gotta work on her free throws.
And she's
but
a sophomore now? You said she's a sophomore?
She's gonna be a junior.
She's going to be a junior. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
now, when you did your recruiting
Mhm.
prior, because it's 4 years now, so did you go mostly Catholic school, mostly PSAL?
not as much PSAL. For me, it's tough.
By choice or it just happened that way?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
It's almost impossible for myself to get to games during the school year. We practice from
Right.
4:30 to 7 every day. Unfortunately, I'm part-time at John Jay, so I have a regular job during the day.
Gotcha.
So it's really hard. And then a lot of times communication can break down. It's very hard to get a hold of a bunch of PSAL coaches. Some of them are great.
Right.
Some of them are telling me their kids are great, and the little bit of film, unfortunately, that they have is
Mhm.
not where we need it.
Gotcha.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm not pro or con either way, but you got to go more with where my roots and stuff were as well, where a lot more of my connections were.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Because we always go back and forth. Where's the better talent come out of? PSAL side or Catholic school side?
I think it goes with the years too. I mean, if a kid's talented, the kid's talented.
Right.
A lot of people will say, the last king on a Christ the King bench should be amazing. Well, I've had a couple of those, and no, they weren't. And you think, okay,
Right.
well, at least they're used to the mindset. No, they weren't. I really think it depends on the kid.
Yeah, that's true. Some of those kids on that bench was like, they just happy to be here. Like, well, we're winning and we might be going to a chip, and I'm here. I help out in practice, and I'm doing whatever I got to do and help them do whatever they got to do. But I still get a championship jacket, coat, or banner, or whatever. Okay, that's how it is. The reason why I asked, now you have the whole NCAA new ruling of not mandating you to report sexual harassment stuff. What do you feel about that? What's your opinion on that?
I think that's ridiculous.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I think that it is all about protecting the kids. I think that if the kids do feel comfortable with you, they will come to you.
True.
And you know what? Sometimes they do and say things, and we say to them all the time in the vans, we can hear you. Don't say something that, they know. And I do sit there and say, listen, guys, if there is something to the extreme, I have to tell someone.
That's true.
I don't even think of it like the legal way. I think of it like the moral way.
True.
Especially if I think a kid's really in danger. If not, then I'm really doing a disservice to them.
That's true. Well, at the same time, like you said, they're in the van, they're whispering or talking, but you can hear them. That might really be that call for help as well, to kind of say something out loud for an official person, an adult, so to speak, someone in charge, to kind of like, let's take it to the next step, because I'm scared to do it as a student. I don't know what to say, but I might need you to do it for me.
It's tough because it's a very fine line of, like things that they tell you about their personal lives. Like,
right.
You don't want to know all the details, but if something's really bothering them, some kids just need to vent.
Right.
No matter how great everyone, your friends think your parents are, they're still your parents, and they're still going to look at things differently.
That's true.
As opposed to, your coaches, you're a little older. I think it's also very different at the college level than the high school level, because they're minors. Now these are adults.
That's true.
And
I think that's why they did that rule like that, because they're adults. They could be able to, but at the same time, they're still student athletes. They're still under your care. And my daughter's at Penn State, and I'm like, no, I need to know something. If I need to take that 3-4 hour ride down to Pennsylvania because something's going on, I'm going to do it, no matter what time of day or night it is.
It's a fine line.
But that's the relationship I have with the coach.
It's a fine line. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to sit here and have daily conversations with parents. Unfortunately, usually they get the phone call from me. I'm like, oh, okay. We're going to the ER. She's okay. Ankle kicks are great, but she's okay. You want to meet me there? And then, But at the end of the day, if that kid's telling me no, she's over 18.
it is. You're right. It is a fine line, and it's kind of questionable. But like I said the other night with someone, my main thing was, it seems like that rule kind of helps the building. It helps the institution more than it helps the student athlete.
I think at the end of the day, a lot of coaches who knew things, who were mandated to say something, didn't. And I think a lot of coaches will continue to say something even though they're not mandated.
Right.
You know, I think it's a good conversation to have with the kid. You know, hey, listen, you know,
I
who
agree.
you told about this? Have you spoken to your parents? You know, but you know, it's sometimes, you know, they don't live with mom and dad. They just live with mom, or they just live with dad, and grandma's their closest person, or their aunt is, or you know, their older sibling. I think knowing the family dynamic is very big as well.
That's true. That is kind of true. That kind of true. Another thing I wanted to ask you. You've been there, John Jay, 4 years now. So now, okay, what's your immediate goal? I know the pandemic kind of screwed things up for this year. So for the next, like you said, 21, 22, what are you looking to do team-wise and program-wise?
Like anything else, we're always trying to put together the best team that we can to vie for a conference championship. John Jay's only won one in its history. None of my players were alive when that happened.
Okay.
You know, it only takes one true player to change a program, positively and negatively. And you want to make sure that you try to weed out the kids who really just don't want to be there or just have always played. I think too many people look at Division III like 13th grade. Well, you know, I played in high school and I played AAU, so I should play in college. It's different. You have a lot of talented players that once they get to college, they don't want to play anymore. They've had it. And some who just want to keep going and would go forever if they could.
Well, also at the same point, once you come out of middle school to high school, you know, practice is middle school 2 days a week, about an hour and 15 minutes a day. High school is every day for about an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. College, you might have 2 or 3 a day, depending on your program, depending on what you're doing and what you're trying to teach. How much are your practices like? How bad are your practices?
Well, we go 6 days a week.
Okay.
We get a 2.5 hour slot.
Okay.
We did a lot more off the court stuff as a team last year. You know, we do watch film as a team. We watched a couple movies together. We had a couple of game nights together.
Okay. See, that's like a part-time job. Yeah. Yeah, but you just said, you know, 2.5 for 6 days. That's like 24, 25 hours. That's like a part-time job.
I kid everyone because people who aren't in athletics don't get it. I go, it's a full-time job for part-time pay. I mean, it's not about the money, but at the end of the day, you're investing a lot of your time into it.
This is true.
And, you know, once you come home, you know, my phone is always on. You know, I hope I don't get that text from the kid at 2 o'clock in the morning, but, you know, I'm hoping it wakes me up if they do need it.
Right. So now with that, it's college and they're adults. Do you emphasize a lot on the academic side, or do you leave that to them? Oh, you still do? Okay.
Absolutely. You don't make the grade, you don't play.
Okay.
We are fortunate that we do have a full-time academic person with us in John Jay. They do get progress reports from their professors, so we know if they're going to class. We know if they're not handing in their work. We know if they're late. We're there pretty much in midterms right as we're starting. So we really try to emphasize to them, you're going to be tired, really tired and sore those first few days. So if you're planning on, you know, opening up the textbook for the first time, this is going to be bad. You know, you want to make sure that you take care of everything they need to take care of, or you just simply don't play.
That's good. That's good to know, because I know, like, with high school, I know I'm just a coach there at Spelman, so I'm not in the school itself. So the athletic director, the deans, they all shoot me emails of, okay, this one's on detention. This one was caught with her phone or something like that,
all
so
the
they
fun
can't come to practice. Yeah, I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, this is brand new to me, because middle school was totally different. You know, middle school, they kind of, it's okay. You know, they'll get it done tomorrow. No, it's not okay anymore.
No. And it shouldn't be, though. That's the way you have to learn. Actions have consequences.
100% right. 100% right. So now, when you are on the sideline, you know, we just had Coach Eloy on, Ref Eloy on yesterday. So you're on the sideline. Are you one of those that bark at the referee. Look, I gotta ask.
I've calmed down over the years. I still get
Yeah.
told all the time that I need to stop.
Okay.
There are a lot of clips of me reacting.
Really?
I would never curse. I know better. You're just asking for it then.
True.
At the end of the day, they're never going to change a call. So I try my best not to argue. You know, it really gets in some of my players' heads at times.
Right.
But you got to move on. Next play.
That's true. And it's funny, C Lady Viking just said Coach Morris is on top of all those things that I was just talking about. 100% right. Yes, she is. And Cass is telling you to answer wisely on that.
Yes, that's my assistant.
Yeah, I see that. I figured that.
Yes.
She's trying to make sure you stay honest,
If
right?
she was here in person, she'd be like this. Like, I get the kill sign all the time from her.
Well, it's good. You have someone that you trust. And it's been, correct me, that's what, 3 years you and her together?
3 years as 3 years coaching together, and I've known her for 4.
Wow, that's good. That's good to have that trust. You got to have somebody there that I guess you're both on the same page. Perfect.
I mean, we argue, but at the end of the day, yeah.
You're supposed to. You're supposed to be. That's supposed to be good because it's only going to make the player or the program or the play or whatever at that moment better. If you both see both sides of whatever the situation
just
is.
Always being told that you're right or never trying to see another perspective doesn't help.
You don't need those people around you. Yeah, you definitely don't need those.
I listen to
you. So now, back to coaching. Back to being that female coach that everyone's looking at like, okay, let's see what she knows, if she knows what she's talking about. Stuff. Referees, other coaches. Have you had issues with other coaches that look at you like she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about?
Absolutely.
Really?
I kind of look young, so that doesn't help.
Right.
There aren't many female head coaches in our conference, not too many in our region as well.
Okay.
So a lot of times you don't see it. It can be tough.
Right.
I wish there was more. It does bother me when I see like an all-male staff for a female team. But that's also it's a ridiculous
Not even an
amount.
Assistant? Not even an assistant?
I don't understand how some schools allow that to happen. But even you see that at AAU as well. You don't see many at all.
No. I actually got my daughter, she's coaching my 15, 16 and under boys. Not even girls, boys.
Kudos.
She said, I don't want to coach girls, I want to coach boys. And mind you, she just turned 19 a few weeks ago. So she's like, she wanted to get into it. I said, okay, cool. Let's do it. Coach Mo just said, okay, now that's what I was just about to lead into. You said you see it as a negative. You have all these men taking care of women. What's not attracting the women to be coaches? What's not there for them to come in, or is the door not open for them?
I think it's tough. I think a lot of females won't apply for a job unless they can check all the boxes off, make sure that they have everything. I think a lot of guys will just apply to any and everything. You know, people who only have experience coaching youth are applying for Division I jobs. You don't see a lot of females doing that. I think a lot of times a lot of women feel like you have to give it up. You know, you finish playing, you know, there's your prime years right there. I love former players as my assistants. I think it's great. You know, bringing them right back in. They're going to tell the story right then and there. Then the fact that they want to be there is huge.
That makes sense.
I think at the end of the day, you know, the more females that you see doing it, it's like, well, I can do that too. You know, it's like anything else growing up. I didn't have the WNBA. I wanted to be in the NBA when I was 8 years old. You know, there's majority of my team can't name 2 New York Liberty players. Now all they know is Sabrina, or they've never been to a WNBA game.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
I think you got to just keep putting it out there. You have to have more interaction with it. Even, you know, everyone just thinks, okay, well, I can't be a Division I coach. Okay, there's 440 Division III jobs out there.
Yeah, there's many levels. JUCO, nine. I mean, come on, it's a whole lot. I mean,
JUCO's its own world. JUCO could be amazing for some kids.
That's true. That's true. I mean, you could go to high school. Start off in high school.
Well, everyone thinks they can just jump into college because they played. You know, that's the most. Some of these resumes that I get when we look to hire it's tough. You know, I get people who never really coached and they're going to tell me their philosophy. I'm like, well, that's great. I don't care.
Right. You don't have a philosophy yet. You don't.
Your philosophy would be my philosophy.
Exactly. Or you can find another place to be, and God bless, good night. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a way that you could, let's say you start a clinic tomorrow, women in coaching.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your platform to invite or to interest more women to come to be a coach?
I think a big part of it would be linking up with those who are already in those shoes. Because I think a lot of people feel like it. I hated Muffin McGraw for years. Just being a UConn fan.
Right.
But then what she's really done and what she really did for women's sports, I think that was huge. And I really think getting as many people involved as possible, and various ages, various races, from all different parts of the country. From, like you say, it starts in middle school, it starts in high school. I never played for a female head coach. I had very few female coaches in general. So I took it as a very different mindset of when I had a female assistant. I thought it was really weird. I didn't have my first female assistant till college.
Really?
It was very, I was always used to playing for men, and I never really realized it.
So now, how did that, let's use that. How did that make you feel? What was the difference of the mindset? How was that?
Well, I mean, it was also a different time.
Okay.
I graduated college in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
We were threatened that we were going to be punched in the face, and we were going to be left here, and we were at a trip, and one of our assistant coaches was late. Coach started driving the van away, and it's a good thing the other coach stopped.
Right.
It was a different mindset.
Gotcha.
But I think the one thing that I even see even more now is I had a good relationship with my head coach.
Right.
But what I can have with my players now is very different, because he didn't go through the things that I have to face as a female. So you can't, you can be close, but you can't really walk those shoes. It's a very different situation.
Now it's funny because a lot of coaches are going back and forth. A couple of things that they brought up was money.
Mm-hmm.
There's none. And again, you got another job. And this is a part-time little stipend to cover the bill that you might come up with for the team.
Yep.
Which is not bad, but again, you said you want to do, you love the game, so it is hard. Is there a way to get the institutions to generate a dollar for the female coaches to generate some? I know I'm fishing and I'm fishing in a shallow pond right now, but it's to have conversation. That's what this part of this is about. Just to have conversation, to put stuff out in the air. We need to find another dollar or two. Yeah, I coach boys and girls, and I have male and female coaches for my program. But at the same time, I love women's basketball from the little ones on up. We need to find a way to get into their careers, get into the school. How can we find a dollar for them? What would be? Yeah, right. See, just if you don't know.
I don't know, because if I could have figured it out, I would have said this to somebody years ago. It's tough. It's tough. I think even just, I've been at the D2 level. I've been at the D3 level. I think there's such a vast difference in, if you look at a lot of the conferences, even if you look at our own conference,
right?
Those top schools, all their coaches are full time. They're there all day. I think that makes a huge difference. They're wearing other hats in the department, and kudos. It's not like they're just sitting there putting their feet up, but the time that I'm spending commuting back and forth, they're in the same building with their kids. I think that's huge. So even not even leveling it just females and males, I think it's just leveling, having the opportunity to be there.
Right, that's true.
Huge.
Well, if we, because one of the things Coach Mo and I, we go back and forth to is we love girls basketball from the little ones up to women's basketball, and that's why we did New York Cup. That's why we make sure we have the girls out there showcase, be out there, front and center, and invite coaches like yourself and Coach Eddie from Purchase and everybody else, come see the kids play. This is the reason why we did that. We love girls basketball, women's basketball. You got to have the love of it. Obviously, you got to have the love of it. If you would stop coaching your team tomorrow, no school, we're not going back to school for the next 3 years, what would you do? Would you do some kind of virtual clinics? Would you do training? What would you do?
Besides go insane, I would probably end up writing stuff. I would try to connect as much as possible.
So
Just to
you'd
try
stay
to,
right in it.
absolutely.
Okay.
I don't know how to do anything else. For whatever reason,
Gotcha.
you know, it's just the way I'm wired. I think
I
it's
agree.
great. I fight all the time with Cassandra when we're
Mm-hmm.
going to a tournament. I have no problem sitting in the gym for 12 hours.
Gotcha.
I love
Gotcha.
it. I love it. Like this is. I think in general, I don't think it's even just on the female side at all. If you're going to coach the right way, you have to do it for the right reasons.
Okay. Okay. So now we have, I don't know, 8-10 more minutes. What I want to do with you now is, again, like I told you from earlier, I want you to be able to give your email address.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk another minute or two about what you're looking for. Let's talk about another minute or two of how to get in contact with you, whether it's social media or whether it's just email. However, this is your stage for the next few minutes. It's on you.
Well, all our John Jay social media is JJCW Basketball on
Right.
both Twitter and Instagram. You know, I get a lot of kids who actually DM and follow me on my coaching one.
Good.
All emails can be sent to me at lday, and this is a long one, at jjay.cuny.edu. They like to give out long email addresses.
Yeah, of course.
Everything's on johnjathletics.com, all our contact information. Really kind of just reaching out to all coaches. Really, really looking for athletes. People are really interested in learning more about John Jay. You know, even if they're kind of not sure, I have no problems having a conversation with them, you know, exchanging a few texts, exchanging a few emails, just at least giving out the information of kind of like who we are.
True. Because you never know. Somebody may just come and, I mean, you never really get a decision on what you want to do till your second, third year, and then you still might wind up changing your majors anyway. But at least if you go to a place that, hey, you know what, I can play basketball over here, I can get into a good program, be taught by a good coach and her crew, and, you know, start getting a good education, because your first couple of years anyway is going to be, you know, your basic, you know, core courses. So it doesn't make a major difference yet, you know. If you had a player, what would be an ideal player today? Like you have 2 or 3 that's coming back, you said, right?
Well, we're returning a nice little number. We have a couple pretty good athletes that will be the face of our team.
So right now, if you had something that could fit in, is anything missing in what you got coming back? Is anything missing? Any specific?
Well, I think we lost a lot of our length. Unfortunately, you know, 2020 is what it is. If they haven't applied by now, there's really nothing you can do about that.
That's true.
The focus is 2021. But I think the biggest thing for us is getting the kids to apply early. Even if they're kind of like borderline, I tell the kids, just get in. It's much easier to give it away than try to get in last minute, because everything takes forever.
So now what let's say that what do they need to do? Let's talk about that. They have to get it early before January, or
ideally we ask them to do it before Thanksgiving. What they've basically done is the last couple of years, if you've applied before December 1st, by Christmas, beginning of January, you should have a decision.
Oh, that's good.
So at least, you know, you can get your financial aid going. You can really like take your last tour if you want, come and catch a game. You might still kind of be on the fence, or you might be ready to go by February-ish. You know, we're looking for people
to be locked and loaded.
Yeah.
You guys would have already made your decisions. You guys would have already, okay, we're going to allot X amount to this student or whatever, and then you get notified. Okay, that's good to know, because a lot of kids don't know dates.
I still have kids asking about applying now.
Really?
You know,
but the counselor should have told them all that, right?
That's another problem in itself.
Okay, gotcha. Because that's my issue. And I'm thinking like most counselors should have those dates concrete. Let's lock this in now. You know? Okay.
Even in general, for any student, I think some of them don't understand athletics. If they haven't, if the school hasn't dealt with a lot of athletes, and realizing how important that is to get everything done early.
Makes sense. Well, Coach Mo and I, we're praying. We know we're not going to have a summer. We know we're not going to have the cup for the summer. Who knows what the fall may bring, depending on what becomes of school Is school going to get in, or gym's going to be open, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you know you're going to have a front row seat for our tournament.
I'm excited.
Yes, the high school tournament. When do you start actually recruiting kids? When do you start looking at them from 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade? When do you start actually looking at somebody?
If you're really, really good in 8th grade, you're probably not going Division III. But, you know, we have a nice amount of 2022s.
See, Lady Vikings, we got you.
They were speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
But normally, like, we'll really, really start. We talk a lot more to, right now, rising seniors, rising juniors. Like, that's more of the focus right now.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. So that's for your 21 class, possibly
21 and 22, yeah.
21 and 22, and see what happens, what comes up from there. We got a minute. You know what, Coach? I really appreciate you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate this. I really do.
Yeah, we again, like I said, we're trying to open up dialogue with everybody, you know, and we've had relationships. So I'm like, yeah, I want to talk to people that I know that we could just open stuff up and just talk, you know, nothing specific, but then we get into some specifics anyway, you know. Good luck, continued success.
Thank you.
And, you know, I'm proud of you with your 4 years, and you're going to keep on going. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. We're trying. Well, they're working. Yeah. They really are.
Yeah. So once we get New York Cup, get our tournament back up, you're back there. You're going to be sitting right there with us, looking for some 21 kids. And yes, you know, Gianna.
We want athletes.
Yeah, they want. She wants athletes. That's what she said. She wants athletes. I'm going to save this. Go back and watch it. Not a problem. Coach, love you. Appreciate you. You have a great one. Okay.
Stay safe.
Talk to you soon. Bye.